We are live. We are back for football preview part two. We left off and we were at Saxonburg. So let's
Mm.
pop this one back up. I've had a chance to work on some more photos, so we might see some in here. We'll have to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Here is the Saxonburg team.
And the manager of Saxonburg is, the coach of Saxonburg is.
The guy
Chris
you just
Slovic.
talked to, Chris Slovic.
Fresh, yeah, he was just on here just now. He's a couple
Yeah.
of hours ahead of us. All right, so let's have a look at his team. Interesting quarterbacks. I do love a Leon Lomax. This is 1988 Leon Lomax. I
Always
do
liked
like
him
him.
too.
He's going to take you
Yeah,
backwards.
but look at Kirk Cousins. I don't know much about Kirk Cousins, I have to say, but the
It was
69.8 percentage does stand out. That's pretty good
and then
completion
he had
percentage.
Green to throw to. I mean,
He
with that whole
does.
combination. And didn't he have OJ Anderson in the backfield with him?
He's got
Probably, but he's got
it's going to be a
JT
little
Smith.
different. This is one of the top. He's number 6 rated going into this season. His running backs on this team. It was 88 team, so he brought in Dwayne Farrell and Stump Mitchell into this Vice Sikahema, right? But he's got Bettis and Parker from the
Yeah.
Pirates.
uh,
Sorry,
Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah. He's got some talent here. Wide.
Sikahima must be good.
Look at these receivers.
Okay.
J.T. Smith.
That's a really good JT Smith. It's 1988
He's
JT
going to be
Smith.
rated 11.
Roy Jetstream Green. Look at that.
And how about this kid here? Jordan Reed, the H-backer tight end, right? He's got Novacek, Awalt, and Miller and Reed. This is a tight end team right here. He's got some really good
I
Oh,
quality
went,
tight ends.
was
I
it?
went the other
Was it?
way. I didn't have many good tight ends, so I didn't went with 2 tight ends. I
Yeah.
like tight ends. If you can get great tight ends, that's a great mismatch.
Yep.
Yeah, that Novacek is. Well, I thought he was with the Cowboys afterwards, wasn't he? I thought he was in the league actually
He's
with
with
the
the
Cowboys.
He was
Cowboys.
with Cowboys
Before
first.
he was with them, I think.
Yeah.
Or
He's
was
Second
it?
got
Cowboy, and
he's
then he
got some
went
He
to
good
was.
talent.
Cardinals.
Santonio
Novacek
Holmes
was
here
with
too.
Novacek was with the Cowboys. Sorry, with the
Yep.
Cardinals before the Cowboys. Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
His O line. Surprisingly enough, this kind of snuck in on me, but
It's good.
he's got Faneka and Dawson who are 10s, and you got 2 9 tackles with Williams and
Lu-
Louis Sharp that he got from
Louis Sharp. Yeah,
Also a 10
Cardinals.
center.
and a 10
That's
center.
a good.
So that's a good offensive line. D line. This might be a
Defensive
weakness.
line needs some
Yeah.
work. It's,
Is that Alden Smith? Alden's. I've got Justin Smith. Is that Alden?
This is Aaron
going to
Smith.
be
Oh,
running
Aaron
a
Smith.
lot of 7s out there on his defensive line,
This
which is
Nunn,
recipe
who's
for
great pass
disaster.
rush, can play end or linebacker outside. Nunn.
Oh yeah, I remember him. Freddie Joe Dunn. Mm-hmm.
Kirkland,
Yvonne Kirkland.
a 10 inside, and he's got it. He's the ability to put 2 8s on the outside if he puts Nunn out there along with, is that Chad? Yep, Chad Brown
Yeah.
and Willie Kirkland on the inside.
Devon Kirkland.
Oh, Levant. I'm thinking of Willie Kirkland, who's my right
Yeah.
fielder in baseball.
Those
These swim
Pirates.
leagues
Those
are in
Pirates.
my head.
The Steelers have so much linebacking
This is a
talent.
weakness too. I think, and I talked to Chris a little earlier about it. I think his team's much improved, but Carnell Lake, a 9,
going to get
Tim
lit up
McDonald.
pass-wise. He's
That's some
weak
good.
on the
Yeah,
back
yeah.
end, which is one area you don't want to be weak.
You don't want to be weak. We've learned that in the game. Bolt up your
He's got
secondary, fellas.
Dustin Hopkins, the kicker for the Redskins there, and Way is the punter. What are we giving this grade here?
A D.
Wow.
Yeah, in our division, it's tough. You got St.
You know what's
Louis
odd is I
behind
know why
Manchester.
Jeff's saying that because how it comes out, but I'd almost say C minus.
I'm saying C minus. Jeff is harsh. C minus.
Maybe D
That's
plus,
a good team.
but part of me agrees. But there's some elements here that are really good on the offensive side. I think the defense, the line, and the secondary, right? If you don't have a good pass rush, your secondaries are going to get exposed, and they look a little average. So
Yeah, I'd say C minus, even a C. I
all
just
right.
think in looking at all the other teams in the division, it's weak. But if you look at it just on its own, it's not a bad team.
No.
Yeah.
Now let's go into the AFC. Oh, well, let's put it this way. So we thought Montana and Hagerstown are going to battle for the top here.
I
Saxonburg,
mean,
do we
yeah.
think they're going to compete in the
They-
Steam?
I put them in not this season, no, but they have the foundation. You take JT Smith backwards, you take Jetstream Green backwards, Lomax backwards, the
Yeah.
great defense of the Steelers. That is a team to compete. But again, the league is already the teams in that division are so strong. So we have the benefit of having season 1, season 2,
Yeah.
now going into season 3. So we're up and running.
He
You
said
know,
he'll be
I kind
looking
of
for DBs in the next draft.
yeah, and you can see it, but it's like Hagerstown. If Uncle Dwayne takes advantage of Uncle MV, he can straighten his team out real quick. You know what I mean?
Oh boy, yeah. Hint, 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 hint. Now let's go to the
Yeah,
AFC. Let's look at the AFC. I think this is pound for pound, probably going to be just competitive. I think each team, this is just a preview, each team in each of these divisions, copper and gold, could win it. But let's see what we've got on the rosters. Mid Michigan. The
really? Oh,
Walleyes are a wild card team from last year.
well, the history of the Walleyes, I called it the Wallies, but the Walleyes, it didn't have a great season 1. Then he installed the run and shoot, or he got hold of that run and shoot offense, and then suddenly, last season, Stafford came alive, didn't he? And
Well,
killed
Stafford
it.
doesn't look like a great season for him. He's a little, I don't know if he's going to start Warner over Stafford here.
I would.
I would start Warner over
Yeah.
Stafford
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
Running backs, this is,
Barely.
who is that?
Guess he's
CJ
running a one-back
Anderson.
set.
And Sanders is going to be, and then who else has he got here as a backup? Oh, it'll be Lionel James from San Diego.
Lionel Little Train James.
This is a wide, yeah. I think you
Wow.
could call this a run and shoot team. Look at the quality. He's got some great
Jeez,
receivers
that's too
here.
much. He's got Trey Baker everywhere. Having ice cream.
Demarius Thomas. He's got Holt, Demarius Thomas, and Calvin Johnson. And then you got Herman Moore and Emmanuel Sanders. That's deep.
These boys can go. If you look at the route running SMLB for at least 7
Yeah,
of those guys,
they can go long.
they go deep. They go deep. Isaac Bruce is on that team, so he's really got the great show on turf all ready to go.
He sure does.
And,
Offensive
and
line.
ooh, needs some work. Not bad, but in our league, not gonna cut it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a couple 9s, a 10. Larry Allen's there. Defensive line looks okay. What do we got? We got 9s across the board. He's got Sue, Charles Haley at an end. I mean, there's some players here.
Crazy guys on there, that's for sure.
This is a good position for a linebacker.
Cool.
He's got Von Miller. That was a big pickup. So you think about Wilbur Marshall inside, and Von Miller on the outside.
Did Wilbur play inside linebacker? Is that Wilbur Marshall?
It sure is. No, I'm sorry, Brandon Marshall.
No, by
Wilbur's
football.
outside.
What was that?
Wilbur.
58. Interesting.
Now we've got both Brandon Marshalls. I'm going to have to go get my
Todd
photo
Davis.
assignments. My photo assignments lined up right. That'll give me some. That's good.
Oh,
when you've got Darren Woodson at safety and Deion Sanders. Remember last year his Cowboy pick has proved to be a good one. Harris Jr.
Heat to lead, although he's not in a good year. He's a 7. This team will be stretched in a dime formation. So if Bernie's air raid takes up Mid-Michigan, it's goodbye Mid-Michigan.
Yeah,
If
you'll
Bernie's
have to rely on some of that pass rush. So
Air Bernie.
kickers, he's got Craig Colquitt punting, and we got McManus. I'm not sure this means really anything, but
middle of the road, Kiki.
what?
Oh, you didn't do kick return.
Oh yes, let's look at the return possibilities. Returns. Oh, he's got 2 touchdowns on punt returns, 2 touchdowns. I'm giving this team a B.
B.
A B.
Yeah.
I'll give them an A. I think they're going to compete for their division. I think.
Yeah, look at those returners though. You could do a trade in some of those slashed because Uncle MV's waiting. This is good. This is good. Bolden, look at those punt returns as well. Bolden, although it's only 5.
Yeah,
Deion Sanders, yeah, that's pretty good.
it's a good team.
Let's
Here's Vegas.
see, Bernie. Now,
4
Bernie did some
quarterbacks.
trades today. Oh, which one is he going to choose? Matt Ryan, he said. Yeah.
I'm not sure why Tomczak's on the team. That's a little odd.
Great bait, probably.
For what?
To who?
Tom Tucker is a quietly efficient quarterback, but not in that year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. When you got like Flacco and Ryan, Flaquito, I mean, those guys are going to have, solid numbers. I do not understand Tomczak at
I
all.
wouldn't have protected either one of McMahon or Tom
Yeah.
Zach, probably.
He's probably not going to make his keeper list.
Um,
Oh, Neil Anderson's
Neil
good.
Anderson, okay. And I think this is a keeper that he's had before, Ernest Biner, well-known back who probably good catches
Running
out of
backs
the
are a
backfield.
little low on yards per carry. That's the only worry I have with this team is
Yep.
4.4
Yeah,
yards per carry isn't.
Yeah.
Biner out of the
We'll see.
backfield is good. Look at Harvin though. You get Harvin.
Harvin, yeah. That's a
Harvin's
dangerous
great, but
weapon.
he only plays 6 games a year. That's his
That's
problem.
but out of the backfield, I guess if he lines up as a running back, he could be dangerous on third down.
Yeah. Receivers, yeah, Harvin's there. And look at that. In the 9 game, he's going to get hurt, right? 9 games, but he's an 11 because he caught so many balls within those 9 games. It's crazy. So, but he's got Galloway. It's Joey Galloway, I think. He's got White.
Yeah.
White's been there since his original draft. Roddy, Mark Carrier.
I've got him now. There was a trade today, so
Holy shit, does he have 13 drops? Is that correct?
yeah. But the funny thing about drops, though, Cats, is I don't think it'll make much difference in the game. But I think that's just a statistic where the quarterback could have been off target more than Carrier.
Well, we'll find out. Who did you trade for him, MV?
I gave him my tackle, one of my tackles. I've got many. If anyone wants to trade, you know what I mean? Cole. Cole's gone. So he's gone now to Bernie. And it was supposed to his ear, Bernie.
Let me just do it live. Yeah, it was funny. Bernie had me, it was in here earlier.
He's here now.
Trying to hit that. Oh, Bernie's in here now. I thought it was interesting. The offensive line stuff. Okay, Vegas, we got O-line. Yanda was a pickup from the Ravens this year.
Yeah. Still not the strongest tackle.
Yeah, but I mean, he got 2 big guys, 2 10s out of the draft this year. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think Yanda will be good in a couple years going forward. I don't know how long, but I think Hilgenberg will be pretty decent for a few.
I think Covert will be.
He doesn't stay there very long.
He doesn't?
Steve. No, that's why I dropped him. I had him with my initial draft.
Jimbo Covert should be good a couple of years.
This is a secret.
Either way.
If anybody wants to know, this Osmelli guy, he goes next year to, I think, Oakland as a guard and will be a 10.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've got a similar situation with a guy who's like an 8 that'll be a 10 next year. So that'll be nice. D-line.
Interesting line.
This was another trade.
Okay.
Fletcher came in that can play linebacker or DE, but I mean he's got 9. Are they balanced right? Yep, you got
9.
9. You got 4 9s up there. That's good.
Yeah.
Linebackers.
Not bad.
They got Mike Singletary, great middle linebacker of the 80s right there.
Summer, Matthews, Rivera. Sorry, Matthews. Do a little one more linebacker maybe.
Yeah, could use another linebacker on this roster.
Yep.
An outside linebacker to be specific.
Depth on the inside. Maybe too much depth on the inside.
Oh, Bernie's gone away from the air raid, I see. He's gone to
Let's
a
see what
2 right.
Mosley. Let's see what the rate. If you look at rating, so if you take an 8 inside linebacker and move him to outside here in the game, you could play him outside, but he'll be a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big drop off.
DBs. I see 8, 9, 9, 10. Jackson, that's Vesti Jackson. Hasty, he's got 2 8s. Duerson and Hope be good, and then that's it's Eric, isn't it, Davis?
Yes,
Eric
he's
Davis,
good.
yep.
Speedy
I'd
done great
give him a
return.
B plus, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't see much. I mean, I think.
Oh, the returners.
Oh, I think the both teams. I give them. It's probably B-ish, B plus-ish, because I think every team in this division can compete.
Yes.
So I think it's fairly wide open, my opinion. Speedy Duncan.
He's got Speedy Duncan. He could take it to the house. That guy. I know that. I've seen
punt
it.
Return. Who's this guy? Oh, Kalen Clay, right? I don't know this dude. Does this guy get good at some point somewhere?
Yes, he does. Doesn't he, for the 49ers? He does.
Raheem Mostert.
But look at that kick return team. The kicking returns, they're not bad.
No. Harvin is the guy you want. Look at that. Look at the average. So.
Yeah. And Mostert again. Mostert. But Duncan's the one. Speedy Duncan's the key returner.
Mostert only has 5 returns, though, unfortunately.
Oh, does he?
And these guys are going to get hurt. These 7s and not. I mean, they're going to play some games, but they'll miss some. So it'd be like return by committee with whoever is available. Pottsville. Midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis. He was here earlier.
Randall Cunningham, who's been, I think, this will be his 3rd year. He's an original. He's an OG. Him and Fouts have been on this roster.
Who would you play? Is that Mark Wilson or Wade Wilson?
It is Russell Wilson. And to me, I would have taken that team I think Russell Wilson's going to be the best quarterback over the next 4 to 5 years in our league.
Look at that, 1.7 interception percentage. That's low.
Yeah. And he can run.
He is the man. He might be the one.
Yep. I think he'll end up being the best averaged over the next 4 years or so. What do you got? Rudy Johnson.
Rudy.
From the Bengals. Jim Brown. What do you say about that? And Leroy Kelly. Look at these numbers. That's a good running back group. Brown and Kelly.
Pretty good. Jim Brown is right up there.
Abner Haynes from the 61. I just did a bunch of pictures. Why is this guy's not showing?
Got a good running back room. Lots of carries, good yards per carry.
Yeah, that's pretty good team.
Come on now. Let's get in here. Abner Haynes. I just worked on this team. I finished this team's picture, so we should see all of them. Marshawn Lynch is on this team. This is a good running back group.
Very good running back room, yeah.
Beast mode.
Wide receivers. We got Chad Ochocinco is there.
Yeah, he's been in there since season 1, I think.
Some old Chiefs and Chris Burford. You've got Baldwin from Seattle along with Curse and Lockett.
Yeah, got a good enough receiving core.
Yeah, Baldwin and Ochocinco. That's pretty good. They catch the ball.
Little light at tight end, but he runs a run and shoot anyway, so I don't think it will matter that much.
Mm-hmm. Yep. These guys go downtown a lot.
O-line. He's got some guys I think that are going to get better as they progress, with like Hickerson. I mean, I think there's some consistently good 8 and 9 seasons. I don't know if this is the best for his whole team, but 3 8s. What do we got? 8-9 at tackle, 8-8 at guard, and he could use a bump up at center.
If he holds on to these guys, at least 5 of them in the keeper list, he should be good next year. Much
I
better.
might have to reach out to midlife and work it out. I have center depth on my team. I have three. I have two that are going to have really good years going forward too. Maybe he's a trade partner. We don't know. We'll see. Defensive line. That is
Bacon.
Reggie White is on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Jerome Brown.
Coy Bacon with 22 sacks.
Bennett as well. They're definitely going to be stacking. Good pass rush, these guys.
That's a good D line. Linebackers are good too. I mean, that Bobby Wagner pick is a really good one on that Seattle team. He's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's not there yet, but he will be. Hall of Famer.
Seth Joyner will have some better years if you take him backwards, outside linebacker.
Yeah, and I think he got him originally. Yeah, Joyner.
Steve, go back a bit. Go back to DL a bit. I saw an anomaly there, which is interesting. Nothing, not a mistake. Just look at the rush for Coy Bacon. 11.
Yep.
What does that mean? Does that mean not 11?
That means his rating for rush, when the rush rating when he's on the field is 11. It's enormous because 22.
I'm going to see it.
Yeah. 22 sacks gets you that.
I need a Coy Bacon.
You betcha. I got Chris Dolman and Jones, but I think they're 10s or something. I don't know. Maybe 9 and 10. That's a big advantage.
Yeah, we don't sack the quarterback in my team, so I'm looking at that thinking, wow, that's huge.
Yeah, the good linebackers here. I think Wagner's going to be a great pick for him. DBs. Richard Sherman.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Earl Thomas. What do we got here? Yeah,
Parrish.
Eric Allen. I mean, yeah, we don't have any 10s yet, but with Sherman and Earl Thomas, he's going to see 10s in the future.
That's a team to be reckoned with. Midlife has got a good team here. Is that Parrish from the Cleveland 61 team that I wanted?
It is, yes, you know what I mean. Bernie Parrish.
Yeah.
Kicking.
That's a good second.
Hauschka. Good kicker.
Not bad at all. Good punting too.
He does have he's got some returns for TDs on this. There's a good
Grayson and Lockett, and also Haynes. Haynes is that? Mike Haynes? Michael Haynes?
Abner Haynes.
All right. He is loaded.
Abner Haynes. Yes,
you can see this is a well-constructed roster that's on the rise, Bucksville.
Yep. B plus again, and I think you could give the three teams we've already talked about B plus. That's why I think.
What did we give Vegas? What did we give Vegas overall?
I did B plus.
What did you say, Jeff? Yeah.
B plus for Pottsville as well. Pottsville and Vegas very evenly matched teams. Should be an interesting division.
There's going to be some bloodbath games in that division.
And then up to the next two.
Who's also good. So it's going to be an interesting division race this year.
Defending champs right here.
Wow. Look at that. Defending.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Unitas, his ratings. Look at his his completion percentage is just a tick above average, but yards per completion and his interception rate era adjusted is incredible. I mean, he's going to get great play out of him again.
That's 3 great quarterbacks.
Throwing 19 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the 60s is like throwing 1 interception in a season today.
That's incredible. I don't think he started every game last year, did he? United.
No.
I'm sure.
You got to realize we haven't heard from Carlos, so I put this keeper list together for him. So there may be a fine tune or something here, but we'll see. Running back, he's got Frank Gore. Chuck Foreman, who's the big catcher out of the backfield that was great for him last year.
Lenny Moore out of the backfield is going to be good.
This guy too, I don't have a picture yet, but this is Joe Perry from back in the day. Yeah, he came on with the Colts early and then went to San Francisco.
Frank Gore never really got much of a touch of the ball with my Red Bolts team. But he's back. He's back in the league.
How about this guy, Raymond Berry, in for the
Yeah.
61 Colts, and he already had a bunch of Colts on this team. You got John Gilliam from Minnesota with a big year. I mean, look at
Mm-hmm.
that! Look at that, 22 a catch.
Pretty
You got
good.
picked up T.Y. Hilton. Look at the racks ratings on these
Yeah.
guys for being able to
Yeah.
bust it open. 2 10s and a 9.
Wow.
Let's see. He's got big Jim Parker that can go guard or tackle. How nice is that?
That's not the Sandusky guy that got caught in the Penn State scandal,
No.
is it?
No, this
Oh,
is Alex Sandusky.
okay.
He's got some talent here. Ron Yari, great. Parker, and then he's
Mm.
got some 8s over here. Maybe one more lineman could
That's
help him.
that's the drop off there for him right there.
Center. We've got. Well, he's got an 8 here, but he probably could use. What do we think? Another guard.
Another guard. Although it's not bad guard. He's got Newport and Parker. He probably needs a tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this defensive end. You got Alan Page, Carl Eller, Jim Marshall with an off year, but here he picked up Gino Marchetti. 20 sacks. Look, he's a 10 rush.
Yeah, that's pretty. I don't have that.
This is a great line right here. Marchetti, Warren
Mm-hmm.
Sapp, Alan Page, Carl Eller, Bross. I mean,
See, this is what I don't understand about the game, Steve. Sapp's rush rating's a 5. He had 11 sacks. Brassey's a 7. He had 12 sacks. 1 sack gives you a bump in 2. It doesn't.
Quarterback pressures are in there.
two
Yeah, I'm
usually
just saying.
usually on average, like 2 sacks will equal a 1 rush rating. Pretty close to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think he also calculates in quarterback pressures, which is a stat that's not within the game, which is counted for the rush rating for guys that get significant pass
especially in
rush.
newer season where they got Pro Football Focus, where you can have some good data on that. He got a ton of he's got Jeff Seaman, Jackson in here. Ware, DeMarcus Ware on the outside.
Yep.
Second quarter.
Could use maybe one more. DBs, they look okay. Asamuga is a 10, and you got Boyd and Kraus. 9s. What else has he got? And then he has an 8, so he can go 9, 9, 8, 10, and then in the nickel and the dime, he might be a little drop off.
Give him an A. I like his roster.
Yeah, I might say A minus. I don't know about if his running game is going to hold up. But, maybe I'm giving him an A minus over a B plus because he is the defending champ. And this quarterback play here, right here, is going to hold up really well. That this Unitas year should equate to a really good sim result, but we'll see. What do you think, MB? Oh, MV's muted. God only knows. Someone's in distress.
Oh no, it was someone calling. I didn't want the sound to come over. Yeah, it was Unitas and Foreman that killed off Clue last year in that great Super Bowl we had, and I'm expecting it. Now that I've seen Unitas again with that interception rate, he's going to be
Look at his rating.
outstanding.
He's 159% over average, basically, for his avoiding interceptions. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I need to look at my Drew Brees again.
So here is a team that used to be known as the Degens, was a I say that all the time, expansion team taken over by Mark, and had some interesting picks. So here, Bledsoe was a keeper, but he chose the 88 Bills with the first pick.
Quarterback controversy there.
Yeah, not the best season for Kelly numbers wise, but
I think Bledsoe will edge that one to start. I'd go Bledsoe.
running backs, what do we think here? He's got a few, but pretty average as far as their yards
Very
per
average.
carry.
Yeah. Interesting.
Wide receivers. Ooh, there's an 11 here. Which Jones is
Ooh,
this?
look at that Jones.
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones. That is outstanding.
136 catches. So I'll definitely say if you're going to play Mark, double teaming him wouldn't be a bad strategy.
Oh, Ben Coates.
Yeah, and
Look
these
at
other
that
guys are
Orlando.
rated 9. So you've got Andre Reed, and then you got Bobby Joe Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 9s here.
That's pretty good.
O-line. Now he's brought Gray. Okay, he picked up Hall, who's a good center. He's 9s. I think this is it Bruce Armstrong, who he had protected from the Patriots. So we see 3 9s and 8 a 7. This could be a weak area here. You could use another high-rated
Yeah, blocker.
tackle.
Yeah,
His
definitely.
best tackle's like a 9.
It's a good
I
line.
don't
It's
know.
not a bad line.
It's not
It's not a
bad.
bad line. If 50 is the maximum in terms of overall, he's not far, but he's in the 40s.
Yeah.
But tackle is his weak spot.
D-line.
Yeah, again in this league, look at Bruce. Bruce Smith has a 7 rush. He's the favorite there. A good, competent defense.
I
Will it
this
do
is
well?
yeah, I think this is something like in a future draft that
Mm,
a bump up here could take him up with the other folks in the this division.
Competitive division though.
Cornelius Bennett,
Yeah, it's decent enough.
Daryl Talley.
These are the
Look
Buffalo
at
boys.
he's got Shane Conlon at 9. So this is a good linebacking group he's got.
Yeah, definitely. For Slade. It's a solid linebacking.
And these two old-time Cardinals in Pat Fisher and Larry Wilson, those
Yeah, that's
10s are
pretty bad.
nice. He could use maybe
Stovall.
one more. Stovall's a 9. He could use really maybe another 8 or a 9 would be helpful
Yeah.
in here, but it is what it is.
Is that Fanslow? Law. Tyler.
It is Tyler.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to get better at some point.
Scott Norwood, the guy that we know.
Wide right.
Yeah. Yeah. Returns. Don't see any for touchdowns,
Wow.
but Meggett is
But there's some good ones. Meggett, Woodson on the kick returns. Yeah, nothing really on the punt returning.
What do we think? Is this
I'm giving it a B.
B minus?
B.
I would say B minus.
Oh, I'm saying B. What say you, Jeff?
C plus.
And this is why
Guys are harsh.
I look at the quarterback ratings and I'm like, oof.
Yeah,
that's
true.
going to hurt him. And then, yeah, so I'm say B minus. I think they could all win this division, but I think the top 4 probably are a tick better this year.
Tough league. It's tough.
Yeah.
It is really tough.
But it will be competitive. Who do we see
most of
winning
the
this?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Michigan or Vegas, probably.
That's a tough one. I'm going to rest my hopes on Vegas and T-ville.
Oh yeah, T-ville. That's right. I forgot about the obvious.
Yeah, I don't. This one's pretty wide open for 4.
T-ville, Mid-Michigan, and Vegas is in there fighting for a playoff spot. for sure.
I think I might, if I had to pick one, I'd give the edge to T-ville like I did Montana and the Platinum, only because
Mm.
they were there last year.
Yeah, United is looking
But I don't
badass
know if
again.
their running game is good enough to be as good as last year. That's the question mark I would have with
Mm.
T-ville. And every one of these games inter division are going to be just crucial.
Yeah.
And anybody that loses an inter division game there is going to feel like they just got stabbed. AFC Gold, Hadley Lake. Jamie now is the owner of Hadley
Oh
Lake.
yeah,
Didn't relocate him. He's going to turn Hadley Lake into a city of champions.
he's a shrewd operator, is old Jamie. Isn't he?
What do we think here? He got this. He got the number that I think that one of the best
Oh,
overall
good.
teams in the draft with the 61 Giants.
Yeah, he had a pretty good roster to draw from when he drafted high in this draft. He had a good team.
Aikman looks excellent.
Yeah, 99, efficient.
Yeah.
He won't win you games, but he won't lose you games. Emmett looks like a
Yeah.
great year.
Yeah, that's a good year.
Got Marcus. Look at the guys he snuck in with his second pick. He has Marcus Allen on this team and Bo Jackson.
Wow. However, he can only play a certain amount at any time.
That's true.
Look at that low rush average for Marcus Allen, though.
Yeah.
3.7 yards per carry. You can't play him.
But he's a 9
No.
in short yardage. And MV
I
knows
guess.
that's crucial if you need a yard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I got a top Gurley for my short yardage.
What do you got? Michael Irvin. Okay, he's an 11, and then you got look at these two
Wow.
receivers. Irvin an 11 and Schaffner at 10. That's a good 1-2 punch.
That is good. And Pearson's that Drew Pearson?
It is Drew Pearson, and then
Wow.
look at these big names that he's going to have going to better years.
Yeah,
Lofton and
yeah.
Grant.
You have an error because Novacek's on another team. See, Novacek's on this one. I knew he was in the league. He's also on T-Ville's team. That means he needs to come off of T-Ville's team because he's in this team. He was always in this team.
There you go, Jamie.
Did you get that, Steve? About
I did
Novacek?
do that.
Yeah. Let's take him out. That's a good team.
Close
T-Ville,
early.
yeah.
Hold on. O-line.
Oh my God, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This guy, Rosie Brown from the Giant team.
Yeah. Oh, this got 61 Giants.
Eric
Step
Williams from the Cowboys.
Eric
This
Williams.
is great. Yeah, Step not Newton Sweeney. So this is top
He's good.
A-class offensive line he's got right there.
Tuanai is really low, considering
Yeah.
who he really is or was.
But he doesn't need him yet, right?
No, yeah. He probably would never need him at this rate.
Andy Robustelli and Cat Cabbage came with that team. Look at that. Look at that. There. Look at Robustelli with 20 sacks.
They're going to bring the heat from the outside. One's a 10 rush, one's an 8 rush. That's going to be really good.
And he's got inside they're okay. I mean, he could use a bump up at defensive tackle. He's got a couple 8s, but it's not bad.
You got Robustelli. Oh.
Got good linebacker. That Berge trade that came with an ice cream run when Berge got dropped off. That's a good pick on the inside. And then you got Ken Norton here.
Mm-hmm.
So you got some good inside linebackers in Huff. So it's almost like he's got loads of talent inside. He could use an extra outside linebacker.
I think
maybe not.
I think some of those sub ratings are so interesting because the overall is a 9, but then some are good against the rush, some are good against the pass, some are good
exactly. Yeah, you have to look at when they're on the field.
Yeah.
The other thing is, well, tweaking each lineup for special situations so you got your right personnel there.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the best picks at Jimmy Patton. He's an 11. Great pick there.
Is that Jake Anderson?
It's Dick Anderson from the
Dick Anderson, but Dolphins, that's it.
Yeah. He also has this guy that he'll be able to take backwards, Mike Haynes, for the Raiders.
Awesome player. Nathan Vasher's good. This is a good team. Good deep. Not depth, not deep though. Not deep. He's gonna get some injuries. Not deep. Barr's not that great, is he?
Mm-mm.
See, Matt or Chris. It's a good return. Gators a good returner. But that's about it. You can see this is a team on the rise. Chicago.
Chicago.
David's team.
What,
He's
what,
changed his
what
name.
grade are we giving Hadley? Is that a
A minus.
B minus. B minus.
Yeah,
B minus.
I'm with you. Chicago. Let's see what we got. Much better quarterback options for Chicago now. Look at Bart Starr at 105 rating.
He only threw for 2,200 yards, though. That might come into play a little bit. We'll see.
Starr is his game manager, isn't he? He's pretty good. If you
Guess
go
if
to
you
his
need,
rating, Steve.
guess if you need a quarterback, go there. Oh yeah, let's take a look at Starr's ratings.
Talk
Yeah,
to Dave.
look at this.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
335. I mean, this guy's never going to throw an interception coming out, and then 20% over average pass completion. This is going to be a great quarterback.
It's going to be on Sunday. If he goes
Uh,
down, David's in trouble.
Two great running backs, Jim Taylor, Larry Zonka. That'll be just fine right there.
Mm.
And look at this guy he picked up, Billy Cannon.
He's awesome.
Wide
He is
receivers,
awesome.
we have another 11 in the league. That's Tim Brown.
He's a dangerous team.
Amari Cooper's on that team. Michael Crabtree, Charlie Hennigan. He's got good receivers. But
It's interesting.
will David know what to do with a team that has this kind of talent?
I was just about to say to my good friend David, it's some rich talent, but how are you going to deploy it? I see some trade bait there. Not bad.
All line. He's got two big ones here with Kramer and Greg. I don't see anything. An 8-8-8. It'd be better if it was a 9-9-9. We know that story.
999.
But this is a good O line.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Ooh, he's got Khalil Mack that you can put on end or at outside linebacker. That's a big advantage.
He's got pass rushers galore.
He's got McLaughlin that hog up the middle, and I know he's talked about going with a 3-4 because of his depth at linebacker. We'll see, right? And that may be what he needs to do, because look at these linebackers. I probably would run a 3-4 with this kind of group. You get Nitschke and Butkus in the middle and put Taylor and Mack on the outside. Wow.
It's awesome. Although I think that's vulnerable to the West Coast offense. Trust me. You'll take too many risks.
This is good, but a bump in a 7 to an 8 or an 8 to a 9 when you're going into nickel and dime is something we all want to get better
at. It'd be tough against nickel and dime coverage. Not much depth here.
Yeah, it's missing some depth.
Yep. And Adderley is going to miss again.
He does have some INTs in his team. Norton and Banfield will grab the ball.
Yes.
And look at that Emerson guy. I don't know how much this affects the team or is it aesthetic. The 26 deflections for Emerson. That'll show up somewhere.
Kicker with a strong leg.
Oh, as accurate as he could be, though. 80.
Returns. No touchdowns, but he's got guys that can return. That's for sure.
Even if they don't have a touchdown stat, they can still get back to the. So watch out for that.
I think that's an
that's it?
A minus to an A. I don't know. I mean, that's That's a quality
I'd give it
team.
an A minus. I'd give it an A minus. Jeff, what'd you say?
I'll give him a B plus.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of leaning towards a B plus. Probably because I've simmed a few games, and Chicago does well, but not as dominant as we think. But it tells me that David probably, once he starts putting his secret sauce on there, will be better. That's one of us.
Yes.
Like I
Or
said with
worse.
Dwayne earlier. Yeah, or what? Like I said with Dwayne earlier, Dwayne puts a secret sauce on there. He is going to be lights out. I really think that that's a dark horse team, the dark horse team so far.
Yep. How about this one? South Florida Buckshot. We know he loves defense, but he pulled off one of the best losing team picks, and he took that pick right in front of me and a couple others in the 2015 Dallas Cowboys. But let's look at his quarterbacks. I think this is a problem.
I think, yeah, you don't want to have Kilmer as your
Now
quarterback.
Staubach's going to be a little. Now Staubach's going to play 8% better than average. Okay, this can be a little misleading, right? And he's going to be pretty good at avoiding interceptions. But so he might
Mm,
play closer to maybe an 88 or 90 or whatever rating. But I think this is still kind of a weakness.
yeah, it is.
He's got our buddy Chris Johnson that tore up the league last year, and he picked up this guy that Jeff let go, this Darren McFadden. He's good.
It's his only good season, so he should enjoy it.
Herschel Walker catching 75 passes out of the backfield.
Mm, it's not bad. Nicely trimmed.
Yeah. Brooks. Robert Brooks. Look, he's got some receivers. He's got Antonio Freeman. He's got Terrell Owens on this team.
It's the
And
Packers, isn't it?
Anthony Carter.
Hey, see, these guys going to go deep.
Yes.
They're route running. I mean, they are bad boys.
Look at this offensive line he has now.
Wow.
Probably the best starting offensive line in the league,
That's the
possibly.
best. There's a trade bait there too. Hello, Buckshot. There's a really good. Yeah, that's the best I've seen
Yeah, and he got
until
three of them from that 2015 pick. That's just incredible. I mean,
wow.
he got a guy like Bob St. Clair that you don't even have to start. He's look at his tackle depth.
He's got 9 offensive linemen who are 9 or 10s. 9.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
Wow.
but you have that extra piece. You'd want to trade it for something else. I mean,
Like a quarter.
Yeah,
he's
you
got
got to
two
trade.
tens at a tackle, and he's got a 9 as a backup.
I'd
You'd
hook
like
him up
to
with
trade
Dwayne.
that if you could.
I'd hook him up with Dwayne immediately. Dwayne and Buckshot. Them two have got some teams that players to trade at the same level. 10s and 9s.
There's somebody you could get in return that's not
Yeah.
that's reasonable. Defensive line,
Mm.
he's got some big names. These two guys, Harvey Martin and Jones, are going to keep getting better going forward in the next 2-3 years.
Harvey Martin's going to bring the heat.
Yeah, he's a 9
But
rush. Leo
need some help
Nominelli.
though.
Who's this?
And
that
whose
Jason?
kid is
Yeah,
that?
Jason Taylor.
Yeah, not bad. These guys are good.
This guy's going to have some good years too, if I remember right. Charlie Kruger in the middle.
That's a pretty good team. Scary, actually.
How about this? Zach Thomas, remember him? Nick Buonacani inside, and he's got good linebackers here. There's just no tinge
Yeah.
here, but like Ted Hendricks
Yeah.
is good.
It's a solid team.
It's very solid, no weakness. Same thing at DB. I mean, he's got Joey Browner there who's a 9. Renfro.
Mm.
He's got some players here.
I
Leroy
predict
Butler.
this might be the strongest team in that division. Well, we haven't seen Jeff yet.
And the only reason
Those-
I would say, let's take a look at his kick. He's got Dan Bailey kicking. A
Bailey's
return.
very accurate.
Do we see
That
anything
Bailey
special
is-
here with the returns? I don't. I mean, nothing
Bailey's
stands
accurate.
out.
Bailey's accurate as a kicker.
Yeah.
Nothing stands out return wise.
Personally, he's got great running backs. He's got some receivers. I just think this could hurt him. Not
I've got a
having
feeling.
better, more
Yeah.
efficient core. We'll see how Staubach plays, but that's what keeps me from giving him, like, I put that at B plus A minus. It's funny. It's
Well, I'll
I'm going to
give
give
him
it
an
an
A
A.
minus. If
I'm going
he
to give it an A.
trades, he
A
could get a
minus.
defensive tackle from somebody to get a 9 there.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's got
I
an
think
8
so.
starting.
Where most of us might trade a 9 for a 9 or a 10 for a 10. South Florida has so much, as does Hagerstown. He's perfect dance partner is Hagerstown. Seriously,
Yes.
the two of them can swap easily. Or St. Louis, because that's got a lot of 10s. But Buckshot, so far, that's looking really good. He gets an
Edmonton.
A from me, Buckshot.
Tony
Ooh, good
Romo and
quarterback.
Alex Smith. Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a quarterback controversy here. Who do you pick?
And
Who you going with, Jeff?
he pulled the switcheroo. Jeff took Alex Smith and moved him to a different year. You know, one of those little moves that only a few people.
Oh, yeah. That's a conservative but efficient Alex Smith. So, Jeff, who are you going with, Romo or Smith?
In the testing that I've done, Romo's performed a little better than Smith.
Okay.
Just because he threw for so many more yards. And but I could go either way. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
This
interesting.
is a very similar to my team. This is a committee approach to the running game.
Yeah. There's a Nigerian nightmare, Christian Okoye. Can I see his picture, please, Steve?
You will notice I have completed all the photos for this team.
Yeah, a lot of red there.
Oh,
Look at that
there's a
big
lot of
bug.
Chiefs on this team. Trust me. A lot.
He's a big bugger, big boy. Christian Okoye. Heard, Weir, and I mean, you're right there, Charles. A lot of Kansas City boys on here.
Palmer looks like your third down back. Well, him and Anders both. Those are 50 plus receptions out of the backfield can be really good.
Which
Yeah,
Palmer
I'll
is it?
just use these guys. I'll use one guy for a couple of weeks. It's got an over 5 per carry average, then another guy for another couple of weeks. That's the way I'm going to run it as far as the running backs go.
What do you think? It almost seems like you could use another big receiver year, but I don't know. But he's got like it's Gary Clark at receiver and Kelsey. He's got Travis Kelsey.
That's Kelsey, rated 7. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to get better and better and better. But he's great tight ends. I love the Kansas City picks because they used to go deep when I was a kid. They would go. So it's interesting to find out what offense Jeff actually wrote. Okay.
2 backs, tight end, 2 tight ends, wide receiver probably.
Yeah, I can see a 2 tight end set in your future, Jeff. They look
Jim
so
Lackey
good.
at a 9. Allen,
Let's-
it could probably use. I think Jeff probably knows this. Probably use a point or two bump up somewhere here on the O line wouldn't hurt.
Thing is, what did you give up, isn't it? It's like, where's you go? Where'd you go in this roster to trade out for a 9? But I'm sure Jeff will. Jim Lachey was a top tackle.
Yeah, I call him Lackey. Hey, Alex Karras.
That's a
Detroit
great front
favorite
four.
right there, huh? Neil Smith, who's a great player there with that Kansas City team. Sally Amua, right? So he's got a good D line right there. Got some players up there. Linebackers. This was he snagged that team, that Houston team with those guys. So you got Urlacher with an 11 in the middle there, and he's also got Johnson. He's got some good insight.
Which Johnson is that?
That's Derek Johnson.
Oh, I never heard of him.
These guys right here, Justin Houston, Tom Bahali, they all came from that 2015 pick of his.
Kansas right, okay.
That's his
Houston
strength.
has 22 sacks next year, and Green has like 20, I think, next year as well. So
when I look at this team, that's the strength that stands out, is at the linebacker position. Well, and you got another guy here that's going to have some good seasons coming up. How about this guy, Kevin Green?
My secondary is above average too.
Surprised Green's rush is not higher than this. Kevin Green was good in that season.
He had a bad year that year. It was the only bad year he had in about 8.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, right, Kevin Green?
Yeah, so I protected him. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Here is he took another Chiefs team, and you know this team well, MV, because we were both talking about it. He
Mm.
picked up
Oh, my boys. All of my boys are here.
Duron Sherry, Burris, Albert Lewis, and Kevin Ross all on that team.
Albert
Peters
Lewis is
is
my
a 10
favorite.
next year, so's Barry.
Dale
These
Carter's
guys will
on
be all
there.
10s next
This
year.
is the deepest defensive back team in the
Yeah,
league. So I
yeah.
would say, to your point, the strength here that stands out: linebacking and DBs.
Yeah, this DB team is badass. Badass. Boris, Lewis, Kevin Ross, Jerry, Bradley. Yeah. Dick
And
LeBeau.
there's a ton of future potential with all those guys too. And he's
Mm-hmm.
got Bryant. What's his name? From Matt Bryant, the kicker.
Interesting.
Returns. He's got Paul Palmer there.
Davis again.
That's a pretty low average for Paul Palmer on kickoffs, actually.
Isn't Palmer on another team?
No, he's on this team.
Uh,
He's in here.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm wondering if I've seen him before. Never mind. That's good.
What are we giving Edmonton here?
I'd give it an A minus. And also for future potential, I give it the A minus because it's not just this season; it's what's going to be next season. You got Green coming back. All those DBs are elite. He's got the quarterback's not bad. It's always
No,
quarterback.
he's got guys in the 90s. Yeah, if there was a rating between B plus and A minus, I would give him
Yeah.
probably lean him more A minus because, like you, I like the linebackers and DBs that I don't have. So that probably stands out to me because I almost took those DBs with my last pick.
For me, the key, and Jeff agrees with this. Those having a strong secondary, like 8, 9 deep, is going to get you in a lot of trouble, and he's got that because a lot of these teams are so
Yeah,
offensive.
well, and the other thing, you could if it's an obvious pass situation, people coming back, you're going to have 6 DBs back there, right? Well, what if one of them's hurt? Then having 7's good, right? So he can go 7, 8 deep and have at a minimum an 8 in there. That's the deepest defensive backfield in the league, and that is a huge advantage when if like you're playing with the league elite. And we saw how many times people come back in these games.
Oh yeah, big time, big time.
All right. Last but not least, one of your
This
good
is
friends.
the team I probably like the best in our division because I really like this team.
This is a team that was good, not good, and has a chance to be really good. Cam Newton, a great option to back up Stabler.
Now this is who now, Arnold or Alex?
Arnold.
Oh, good friend Arnold. Okay. Inside joke for those who don't know that one.
All right. Let's see. Marv Hubbard. Look at this. 5 yards a carry. That's a good line.
Yeah, Hubbard.
Remember this guy, Jonathan Stewart for the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. Is that Arian Foster? It doesn't play much.
Barry Foster.
Barry. Okay.
John David Crow. Some old school folks here. What do you think? I don't, and you know what's funny? I don't see a lot of outstanding wide receivers,
I don't.
But I see Cliff Branch at 24.2 a catch. That's what I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of the testing I ran, Connecticut won the division. Many of the tests I ran, they won the division.
Yeah,
look.
They were up there with
here's the
with
problem
Florida.
we got with this team. If you don't tackle them, 9, 10, 9, 10 on the after catch yards.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. You're gonna have to run. He offensively, I think he's gonna have to run the ball though a lot. It's just a 70s type team to me.
And if we look at Hubbard, what does he equate to? Oh, he's 23% better than average on the run.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty good. He was good last year for this team.
Yes, he was. Offensive line, I think they're fine. Let's see, tackle. They could maybe use another tackle. But
I mean, he's got some good ones for the future. Art Shell, not even his peak yet.
Jim Otto's a 9. Khalil. So really, what's funny is you got Khalil who will start, and it makes Otto kind of
Mm,
obsolete. But who doesn't? That's a luxury, having a nice backup.
yeah. It's just gonna be tight.
What do we think here? This is
Big week, a big week, a big week.
Bubba Smith.
Not much of a rush. The run is average. Yeah, but a great player in Sistrunk
Linebackers are
and
very good. Coochley in there. You've got Greg Lloyd on the outside. Davis, Nickerson.
yeah,
Villapiano. This is a good linebacking group.
it's a very good quarter.
Wow.
Wow,
Wow.
there's
Th-
three
This
tens.
is this the best secondary we've seen?
Which Sanders is that?
Bob Sanders.
Oh wow,
He had a short career, but boy, he was good while
Yeah.
he played. He
And
had
you
a
got
lot of
Josh
injury
Norman.
problems.
Here's another benefit. When you got a
wow.
guy, Jimmy Hill, that can go in as a DB and be a 9 at either
This
position,
is
that's
why I think
flexibility.
he's got a really good chance to win the division is because of this right here, this secondary.
When Jack
You
Tatum's
know,
one of your weakest safeties, that should tell you got a good team.
10 plus and 10 at cornerback, 10 plus at safety.
Atkinson backing up as well.
I mean, yeah, he's really good shape in the secondary.
Question
He's kind of
question
like
for you.
you. He's kind of like you. You guys are both strong here, linebacking and DBs, but in different ways, but both equally like in your division. Like you two have the best linebacking DB setup.
Question for you. So when it comes to safety, it doesn't say who's the strong safety or the free safety. So what position, in terms of if you look at this team, which one would be the free safety and which one would be the strong?
We'll go right here and see. So they're putting Hill at free and Sanders at the 11 at well,
Because of
regular
all the
strong
Most
tackles.
safety.
interceptions
Yeah.
at free
Because he
safety.
has
It's not-
I'm
97
thinking of the-
tackles, so that's where
Yep.
that's why they put him at the
Only reason I say that because
Spot.
the computer puts my Golson at safety and it puts Adrian Wilson at free. So I was always curious, why
The ball
it's-
hawk at free safety and the tackler at safety.
that's what I think should happen. Yeah. All right. Cool.
And you
Thanks,
can see
Clay.
that with their ratings here, right?
Yeah. See, put Bob
This is
Sanders.
why I think he's got the best team to probably at least compete for the division this year because he's got these great defensive backs and plus Stabler had a very good year at quarterback.
Oh, this
Mm.
guy's going to tear him up. Look at that. Yeah, Stabler's going to be something.
I'm
Oh,
beginning to
look
see
at
the
his kicking.
weaknesses.
His kicking, yeah,
Good enough.
Nortman, it's good enough. It is what it is. Returns, I don't. I mean, you got Woodson there. This might be a weak area. But
Very interesting. Very, very
I'm
interesting.
making a note.
I've been
Very-
making
Myself on, but I'm making a note on just double checking. Who was it? The other guy.
Very strong. The
Oh,
three
double check.
strongest teams in the division are South Florida, Connecticut, and Chicago. Those are the three teams that will probably battle for first place this year.
And this is a hard one to call too. I don't know who I would pick.
A minus again.
If I had
I'll
to
tell you
pick
why.
anyone in this, I would go with Connecticut only because of the quarterback.
I would go with.
Yeah.
Now I understand when I was doing my Sims, why Chicago wasn't performing as well. The other teams are just lights out. South Florida, I think, talent. Whether it's played or not, I don't know. Like I said, he's open to trades, I guess. Buckshot, although Buckshot's not really trading at the moment. So good luck with that. Jeff has got some room to grow. Connecticut, they're all lights out. Chicago, South Florida, Edmonton, Connecticut are all kind of even, but South Florida just edging it. And Hadley Lake is a team on the rise. I used to think the Steel division was the toughest, but now listening to what you've been saying, Steve and Jeff, the copper and the gold are really tough. I mean, wow,
Yeah. Those
Yeah, there's
teams
not
are
one
going to
weak team in my
no.
division.
Any
none of them are
any
weak.
any game that you've got like in that division is like, well, shit. You got to really cross your plan good and cross your fingers because there's no easy game.
Now I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna go on a limb for that division. I'm gonna call it now. South Florida.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
it's
Yeah,
not a bad pick. It would be South Florida,
but it's close. Edmonton and Connecticut are
Connecticut,
right there.
right in there.
I'm
And
just gonna
David,
I'm gonna say they're so close. I'm seeing how important a quarterback is. I'm gonna go with Connecticut because I think Stabler will equate in this replay better than, and there's good ones there, like Bart Starr's really good too. But I think that's could be what puts um, somebody in the first place. This is going to be a tight race, but I would pick Connecticut. I might even pick Connecticut for the AFC between
Uh,
both of it to be my pick to go to the Super Bowl. If I
yeah,
had to, it's hard
I
to
would
go
say
against
that too.
T-ville because they've got such a core coming back. But I might say, um, yeah, that's a hard one. I don't know who to pick. I think it might be T-ville and Connecticut winning those two divisions. That's the two I would pick.
who's your pick overall? Who's gonna take home the trophy? The win? What is it called anyway? We don't have a name for the trophy anyway.
It's never
Who's going to
mattered
win
for
this?
2 seasons. Why should it matter now?
Yeah.
George Fraser Memorial
I was
Trophy.
just thinking. I was just thinking that.
Is that the name we should go with?
Goddamn
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying. It needs a name.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, like,
it's I really think T-ville and Connecticut to me because of the way those quarterbacks in their era come. They've got solid stuff on the other ones. T-ville is the defending champ. Uh, yeah, I mean, I don't know how any other team right now stands out, even in our side of the stuff.
A lot of
I mean,
masturbation went on.
not teams that stands out. I think between you and Clue and me and that one, we probably stand out in the steel. I think the platinum overall, it's going to come down to
Hagerstown.
Montana and Hagerstown. I
It's
don't know if
Hagerstown.
they can. I don't know if those rosters stand up.
Hagerstown does. Hagerstown's a championship roster, no question. I think we said that yesterday when we did day
Yeah,
before. If Uncle Dwayne does his business, scary. There's two scariest rosters I've seen. Hey, four. Sorry, Hagerstown, Lehigh, St. Louis. Sorry, South Florida.
it's
There's
funny
those four
though. My
stand out.
tiebreaker is always if they're fairly evenly matched. I'm going to go with who I think is the best quarterback
Mm.
numbers wise that season. That's my tiebreaker with this because I think it does have such an impact. I think lower
And Rogers will be the one.
interception, higher completion percentage behind the better offensive lines are just so much above average.
I would go with Aaron Rodgers being the best in the league at St. Louis. Brady, your guy, which we'd expect these two. Breeze has an off year for me. So I'd go Rodgers, Brady, Romo, Ryan, Cousins, Stabler, and possibly Joe Montana. In that order. I think Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. That's just me. But Kirk Cousins surprises me. He's going to be pretty good. Yeah, it's going to be really
Here's
interesting.
the quarterbacks you're looking at. I mean, you got, yeah, I don't even have anybody in the top 10, but I think Brady tends to play better than the top 10. I think he's right about 98 or something. Carson Palmer for Montana.
Yeah. I think the receiving wise, the best receiver rated in this game, I think, I'm giving top four. Julio Jones, I saw for the Amsterdam Flying Dutchman, I think it is. He's like over 100 catches. He should be good. And Calvin Johnson with the slash deep run and shoot offense should
Yeah,
be good.
look,
Wes Welker is always good.
we've got 9 players with
Marshall,
100 or more catches right here.
it's going to be something.
Well, look at Mid Michigan. They've got 2 of them. So look at Mid
Yeah.
Michigan has 3 of the top 8 with Holt, Demarius Thomas,
So,
and Johnson. The key is, does he have a
yeah,
quarterback that can
to get to the
consistently get
ball.
him the ball? And I think he might have to start Warner over Stafford this year.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
It is going to be interesting for sure. Anything?
When's
Take a,
the kickoff for the league? When do you guys think we'll start?
no clue. Because now I've
When
got to I've
exactly?
got to double check a couple of these players here to make sure that we're not.
Yeah.
I got two names here. I want to check Bubba Smith. Let's just go to the player search right here.
Yeah, I was just say use the database. You should pick it up.
Where's Bubba? Bubba. Well, no, Bubba Smith. Okay, the other one's Billy Ray Smith. So Bubba Smith's good, and the other one is Novacek. And yes, so Hadley Lake had Novacek. So Saxonburg, I'm gonna have to bring somebody else in for him.
Mm-hmm.
So Novacek goes bye-bye, and that's fine. He's got two there. And I will find a replacement player to bring in sometime today and
Mm-hmm.
help Chris out. So going through this helped identify a doppelganger or two,
Yeah.
which I think was good. You want to take a look before we go at player salaries.
All right. Go payrolls.
Let's take a look. What do we got? What do we see?
Chicago. That doesn't surprise me. Has the biggest team salary payroll. A lot of people in here, Steve. By the way, you're
Oh,
holding
really?
your audience. Yeah. Well, in the room. I don't know
Oh,
about
nice.
who's online. It's a full gallery here. You got
It is
Bernie
a
here,
full
Big
gallery.
Clue, David, Dwayne, Jeff, myself,
And in
and
the
you.
words of Bernie, there's only one sim that counts.
There's only one thing that counts. Don't sleep on Vegas as well, by the way. I think they'll be a good team. I think I'm going to have to settle for mediocrity this season.
Let's do a quick take. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You've got Breezes up there.
It's his worst season, though, sadly.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
tough.
not
When
bad.
you pick in the lower half of the draft year in
Oh, hold on
and
a
year out,
second.
you're going
Yeah.
to have an off year now and then. It's just the way
Yeah.
it goes, unfortunately.
Foles has been traded, by the way, to the Eagles.
It could have been. This has to be the only reason you would keep that guy.
Yeah, but it was a special request from our friend
I'm
Yoko.
noticing a trend.
But it was vetted.
We have.
It's
It's
very
like,
vetted.
sir,
You know.
you can go to any insurance agent you want as long as it's State Farm. That's kind of what I'm seeing. We have like one
It was a vetted
insurance
trade.
broker here.
It was a vetted trade.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
It was. Bernie vetted it for me.
Who came your way?
Mark Carey, I think you already done it, huh? Mark Carey, nice receiver. I think you already did it, Steve. You did it already. You did it during this broadcast. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? No, I had Carey from someone else. Ricky Natil. Ricky Natil.
Uh-huh. Let's take a look
Nice
at
little
his
punt.
return
He's
guy.
a good punt return guy. That's the guy. He did Carey earlier with another team. I can't remember who I traded him. There you go. Philly got that great quarterback, and I've got a nice punt returner.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna
So my offense should be a bit better now.
I'm gonna end the broadcast portion of this, but it's been fun, Jeff MV doing our preview. Hopefully somebody gets offended, even if it's just slightly, because
Did you say hopefully somebody
yes,
gets
100%,
offended?
yes. Because we gave out grades, so anytime you get a grade, you stand the chance of either agreeing with it or
You're trying to
disagreeing.
offend someone?
Well, there's no other way around it
Oh,
when we're giving grades.
I see
Hello,
what you're
am
saying.
I
Yeah.
on? Hello. Am I on?
It's
You
Mr.
guys,
Offended.
every single one of you just made the shit list. I want you all to know that.
Is this David
I was
Landau
thinking-
coming on here?
I
What are you
was
talking
think-
about? The
I
shit
was
list for
saying-
what?
All three single one of you.
Wow.
You're on the list.
because we
Just
predicted.
enjoy the rest of the
Wait,
broadcast, fellas.
Good. Well,
Jay,
then
wait,
thank you
wait.
for verifying that we did offend someone. I appreciate that.
That's what I'm saying. Oh dear, oh dear.
But it has been fun.
By the way, I still love you all.
I know you do. All that anger turned inward. Let's see. Chicago. I think I got all the now I got more photos to go do, but I'm getting closer. I think I'm up 1,400 and some photos overall, but there's still some new players here I haven't done. A few of the teams I've completely done. I think I just got Pottsville done. I think I got Edmonton done, so bear with me. I mean, the fact if I can get 53 players all photo carded, it may be too hard to achieve, but I'm going to try to crank them out as we wait.
At the risk of offending someone,
Yes.
did you do the best teams first subconsciously?
You mean over in our division?
Anyway, just curious.
I just went left to right, but sometimes it just happens to be that way. I don't know. What do we see? Do we see, what's interesting, MV, I will call out, this is season 3. Our 2 champions have come from this side,
Yes.
the AFC side. Jeff is
David
defending,
did it.
was a champion, and Carlos. So while we in the Steel might think that we've got teams and we beat up on each other, we've not won a Super Bowl yet from our side.
Who was the first Super Bowl again?
Montana, Alex Tuesday, and Jeff.
Alex Tuesday, yeah. And Clue blew it last year, yeah.
Clue, yeah, T-ville in a bit of an upset.
Well, Clue didn't blow it. It was just a great game. That's all I can say. It could have happened to anybody, but that was I thought it was a lock for Clue.
Do you think so? Was that really a risk to offend somebody with that statement? Or was it a high probability that you just offended 10 teams in one comment?
That was intended.
Yes. Way to do as we wrap up, and I appreciate everybody tuning in for this. But
I better go now.
We do have some baseball coming up later. I had to push it off
exactly what time are we having the baseball?
Well, it'll be coming up this afternoon,
all right,
depending on where you are.
Yeah,
I'm looking
it's
forward to it.
Here. All right, cool, Steve. Thank you very much.